gentlemen, and welcome back to Software Inc. Alpha 10. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be back with NERDROSOFT, where things, I have to say, are going very, very well indeed. You've caught me here, just working on my computer as I tend to do. But I am in my new office. I have decided to do a little bit of construction between the episodes. I mean, I say between the episodes, it was in the time-lapse at the start of this one, but you get the point. I did some construction work, and that also included going ahead and turning the old core team studio into an office solely for me as the core team leader, and we turned the old support team studio into a server room, which I figure is a good idea because we have kind of needed a bit of a server room for a while, so I figured that would be a good place to put it. And of course, with the time-lapse at the beginning, we built this, which is the new development studio for NERDROSOFT. It is a little bit unfinished, and it is ever so slightly different to how it was during the time-lapse, because you might have noticed, and you might have picked up during that time, that I didn't build bathrooms. So I went ahead and built them here, and here, and here. And the reason I picked up on that is because during a live stream a couple of days ago on Sunday, I showed off this building a little bit early, and people were like, hey, that's neat and all, but you haven't built bathrooms. So that was a little bit awkward. But we have bathrooms now. We have the canteen up and working. And of course, we have upstairs, which is currently empty, which is eventually going to be room for potentially another development team. But at the moment, there are a couple of things we need to do. We need to go to me and send me off on education, because I actually have HR management. I forgot that I did that. So what we can do is actually just go to the core team, go to HR options, and have this all turned on. So I'm going to handle wages and complaints from the team, no problem. But we're also going to say that at any one time, 5 team members can be educated for 6 months, and we'll always say that there are 3 months between every period of education. So we're eventually going to go ahead and have a very well-skilled, very highly skilled team. So education is going to be a thing that happens, but on top of that, we also want to start hiring people for different jobs, because obviously marketing is going to be one thing that we want people doing. So let's pause for a second and work things out, because this room right here is the programmer's room. So if we go ahead and select this chair and select all of the chairs in that room, we have 8 of them. So we can have 8 programmers, 8 artists, 8 designers, and 8 marketers total, with me sitting there as the one sort of additional in the team as the team leader. So if we go to manage teams, go to HR options, and say that we want in total 8 programmers, 8 designers, 8 artists, and 8 marketers, we should see, when I rerun the game, the number of people in the core team go up kind of considerably to 33. Which means that tomorrow, we're going to have a decent number of people in there. Now, the support team at the moment, if we have ourselves a little look, is currently made up of 6 people. And we actually have room for how many in this room? 12. So we can make that number a little bit higher. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pick someone on the support team to be their team leader. So let's go for skill. Let's sort by leadership skill, which is going to be Gladys Vargas, who is going to be educated in HR management for 6 months. And we're also going to just change her role to be team leader. So when she gets back, we can go ahead and automatically hire people. We can manage the salaries and all that stuff, and everything will be fine. Now, at the moment, we are currently working on NSOS. We are supporting NS Vision, NS Wave, or NERDROSOFT Wave, and NERDROSOFT Wave Studio. I think that's Studio right there. So we're still supporting a lot of things, but we're also still making money on NS Vision. We're not making as much as we'd necessarily like to be making, but, you know, money is money, so that is great news. NS Vision is currently not meeting demand. So let's take a little look here. Last month we got 133,000. We have very few in stock. So let's order 250,000 copies here. and see how that plays out. It seems that NERDROSOFT Wave Studio has straight up stopped selling, so there's 413,000 copies of that in storage. Fortunately, though, we have all of our teams arriving. The unfortunate thing is that the buses are filling up, so we actually need more parking space. So what we could actually go ahead and do is we could purchase this plot of land up here and turn it into some parking space. Alternatively, this one over here would work as well. We have all this land up here as well. So honestly, I think we'll just buy this one and we'll turn that into a parking lot. So let's go for vertical parking. Something like that, something like that. And that should do the job. People should be able to, yeah, there we go. So everybody's coming to work, and if things have been set up properly, which I'm not entirely sure they have been, but we'll just check. If things have been set up properly, we're going to have people working on tasks that they're supposed to be working on. So looking here, it looks to me like things have been set up properly, which is fantastic news. So if we look at relative skill, everyone with relative skill in a given field is working in that role, which is fantastic stuff. So everybody's working on what they should be working on, which means that NSOS should get developed a little bit quicker. Maybe not massively quickly, but a little bit quicker. The downside, of course, is that our artists aren't actually doing anything right now. And I do believe we might have, yeah, the core team is currently working on NS Vision. So let's take them off of that and just have support working on it. And let's make sure that it's always the support team working on things, which is going to leave our core team programmers as well as the artists with nothing to do. So what I'm thinking we do is we start working on more software. So our biggest success was obviously Wave Studio. So what if we were to make a sequel to that? In fact, we'll just go into our software options here. So if we go to Wave Studio and say, you know, let's make a sequel. Let's say we want to do, you know, whatever. Let's go with most recent releases here. NS Vision was mediocre. That's fine. This can be great. We can make sure it's running on all of the popular operating systems. In fact, just all of the let's just say all of them. All of the operating systems. This will run on everything, which gives us a reach of about 500,000 people. And this isn't going to be, it's not NERDROSOFT Wave Studio. It's NS Wave Studio Pro. Because of course it is. You have to release, like, you release the player, so NS Wave, and then you release Wave Studio, and then of course Wave Pro, right? That's the way these things work. And it's going to be $49.99. Because of course it is. And then we have source control management, which is something we've never done before. So source control management on the dev server, and we'll start developing it. And it should go relatively quickly, I believe. Of course, we did have a bit of a team meeting, so I think that might have delayed it ever so slightly, but I think, yeah, so it's going fairly quickly. I think we do have a few people that are currently getting educated. So if we go to our employees, we look at their state in class. We have a couple of them that are in class. We have 5 of them in class at the moment. So they're going to be getting educated on whatever. Doesn't really matter to me what they get educated on, as long as the education goes well. So this right here is our room of designers. I'm noticing it's getting a little bit dirty. I'm noticing that obviously one of our employees is a little bit unhappy, not qualified for working on assigned task. Interesting. That's fine. That's totally fine. Apparently I minimized my releases rather than closing it there. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying that you're upset about that, but what I think, you know, I mean, eventually you'll be working on Wave Studio Pro. But what I think we can do in the meantime is actually go to manage staff here, and I want to pause while I do this. We're going to dismiss all of our employees, which apparently, there we go, just dismiss all of them. And then let's go ahead and hire a cook who can come in at 10, leave at 2. And then we'll hire some cleaning, who's going to come in at 8 and leave at 12. And we'll hire another one that's going to come in at 12 and leave at 4. So we'll have cleaning here pretty much all day, which I think is going to be a good idea. IT support is something I think we're going to want. I think we'll maybe have IT support come in maybe 2 hours early. Or maybe they can leave at 5. I think that'll work. So IT support can sort of maybe leave at 6. Nah, 5 will do. So IT support's going to come in. I don't think we need 2 of them. We'll get a receptionist. I think we had one. And I think we will also hire maintenance, just to be sure that things do get fixed. So we'll just bring in those people to help clean things up a little bit. Hopefully 2 cleaners coming in at different times will be enough. And it is worth mentioning, we are still using this building over here. Obviously, we have the receptionist downstairs and then my office and the server room upstairs. So that building we are going to be keeping for a while. That is definitely something we want to hold on to. And I think it's going to be interesting getting Wave Studio Pro out here. I'm also thinking we could totally go ahead and we could either do one of 2 things here. We could, if we really wanted to, go ahead and make 4 teams up here. And I really like the idea of doing that because I think it'd be really fun to have like a set of game development teams or something like that. Like 4 different teams, all of which work on like, you know, 1 game each. And then we'll just do project management so they keep just pumping out sequels to those same games. Alternatively, we could do 2 teams and, you know, just split them across the offices. We could do 2 teams, same kind of principle, you know, game development. I really like the idea. So I think what we could do is we could absolutely grab all of the furniture from these rooms and paste it upstairs. Or we could try and get a bit more, a few more employees into those rooms. I don't know. I really don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I am just going to grab all of the furniture in these rooms. So I think that might be for the best. So can we select all the furniture in there and then I guess we just duplicate it. So duplicate everything, which I'm not sure we're doing. You know what? Let's just duplicate 1 room to begin with. So grab all the furniture in there and duplicate all of it. And then we'll head upstairs. And obviously this is kind of the boring way of doing things, but it's the way we're going to do things. Also, just as an FYI, it probably won't be loud in the video, but there is an interesting bug in Software Inc. right now, which causes the sound that plays when you place an object to play however many times it needs to for the amount of objects that you're placing. Apparently it doesn't exist anymore. I guess it was fixed. Never mind. There was a bug that did that and it was super, super loud. I'm really glad to see it was fixed. That's not the... Oh, there it was. There it was. That was the bug I was talking about. It is very, very loud. Let's go ahead and grab everything in this room as well and duplicate it. Moving it to there. And also moving it to this room as well. There we go. So we have those rooms set up, which I think is good. I kind of want to change the... I don't know if I like the color scheme we have going here. I think I actually prefer that darker floor color. I think that darker floor color looks a little bit better on the in the dev spaces. So the floor is going to be that color. We should probably do something in the hallways as well. We could totally do like vending machines or something. So if we go to common room, say like a vending machine against that wall or something, we might need to change the grid to make this line up nicely. So a vending machine against that wall, I think is a good idea. And then I think a vending machine against this wall as well is also going to be a good idea. So a couple of vending machines there. And then what we can do is head over this way and we'll do a couple of vending machines, or not vending machines, sorry, water coolers there. and another one can totally go up against this wall here. So just like that. And I think that works. That'll give employees reason to go into those little hallways, because they currently don't really do that. And I do believe, yeah, core team's in. They're sort of doing their thing. There's a bit of a team meeting going on upstairs. I think they're waiting on me. Yep. It does take a moment for me to get there from my building, but that's fine. As for up here, though, I really can't decide whether or not I want to do 4 small teams. Because, I mean, what, we have 8? We have 8 desks. So maybe 3 designers, 3 programmers, and 2 artists. Or 6, 6, and 4. I think 6, 6, and 4 makes more sense. So let's go to teams. Let's make game dev 1 and add it. And let's make game dev 2 and we'll add it as well. And then this room here is for game dev 1. And then this room here is going to be for game dev 2. So that'll be fine. And then we need to hire leaders for both teams. So if we look for leaders, high salary, look for skill, specialization, personality, and begin looking. We'll look towards their personality in just a second. They're going to be game dev 1. And you are a snob and naive. You are cocky and mean. You are a cocky flirt. Generous and naive. I think that's going to be good for game dev 1. And then game dev 2 is hopefully going to have someone that's generous as well. Flirt and cocky, maybe. I think that'll do. So you two are hired for your respective teams. You're obviously going to have to work in your given office as well. Unless we put the leader's desk against a window, but I don't think we'll do that. Let's just go to manage teams. Let's go to game dev 1 employees. And I think what we're going to do is say that you need to be educated in HR management. And I think we'll do the same thing for game dev 2. And then afterwards, we're basically going to have them automatically hire everybody they need. And then we'll start development on some video games. So I think it'll be 6 designers, 6 programmers, and 3 artists, because obviously 1 desk needs to be taken up by the leader. And I think that'll be fine. I do think that'll be fine. I think we'll get some good stuff going from the game dev teams. And hopefully we can turn NERDROSOFT into a studio that also puts out some quality video games. I am thinking, though, it looks like we might need another cleaner. So let's have a cleaner come in sort of in the middle of the day there. And hopefully that will be enough to clean up all those floors. It's also looking like you are currently the only designer working on Wave Studio Pro. Fortunately, the rest of them seem to have come in there, which is good. So let's push this thing into active development, hopefully very soon. Hopefully very soon. There we go. It's great. Let's start developing that. It is in alpha, but doesn't have any followers. That's fine. I don't really think we need to worry too much about that. That does open the floor up for the programmers to start doing things. And apparently the marketing team doesn't really know what to do with themselves. That's fair enough. So what is this recommending for Wave Studio Pro? It recommends 20.9 when it comes to code units and nothing when it comes to the art units. So I guess that's fine. I realize we are making Wave Studio Pro, which is effectively... It is exactly the same thing as Wave Studio, isn't it? Now that I think about it. Like, it doesn't do anything differently. So would it not... It could possibly make more sense to just port Wave Studio to something like OptiSlim. That might be an idea. That might not be a bad idea, rather than making a new one, which I don't think does anything differently. We might want to cancel that and maybe just work on a game engine. Now that I think about it. Because, I mean, if we start using 2D rendering, 3D rendering, all this kind of stuff, 3D assets, we need a 3D editor, which we don't actually have. Interesting. We do have we have NS Vision for the 2D, but we don't have, ooh, that's what we need to make. We need to make a 3D editor. And we'll use NS Vision as the 2D editor for it. Okay, well, that changes a few things. And I think it's going to be relatively affordable. It's going to be £75, which is not what it was suggesting. And it's going to have to run on Sloth, apparently, which is great. We'll run it on Sloth. It's apparently the only thing that can run it. Unless we maybe... I mean, is that because of NS Vision, potentially? Let's move my releases over here. So NS Vision... Can we port that to some things here? No. Okay. So we're gonna make this. It's gonna be on Sloth. We're gonna then make a game engine. I haven't picked a name for it. That was close. That was close. This is gonna be NS Vision 3D, but with no space because it's 1987 and we've got that 90s vibe going 3 years early. So let's go ahead and develop that. Hopefully we can get that done relatively quickly. Because, oh yeah, that's going so quick. That is absolutely what I want to see right there. Absolutely what I want to see. What I want to see right there. There we go. I can speak. I can absolutely speak. I guess they can maybe continue working on Wave Studio Pro. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing I want them doing. Because it is the same as the other one. I think we're going to cancel it. I think we're going to cancel it, let them focus on NS Vision 3D. We'll give you guys a raise. I wonder if your boss is back yet. Is the support team leader back yet? Let's see here. Lead skill, you. Can we... You are in the leader role. Are you... You are on vacation. Right. Well, that's good, because what we can do is go to support, go to HR options, and finally switch that on, so you're dealing with that stuff. We have 5 programmers. We're going to want 11 of them. And the preferred age is going to be there. The salary can be medium. Education level there. Cooldown can be 6 months. And at any one time, we can have like 3 of them on the education thing there for the support team. And there we go. Support team is up to 12 people. Which is hopefully going to do great things for us. And again, Vision 3D coming along at a relatively decent pace. The only thing slowing it down, I think, is the fact that we keep having regular team meetings. And, I mean, with me working on in another building, that does ever so slightly slow things down. So hopefully we can sort that eventually. Is this the top floor? Are you? Who are you? Who are you? You're going to repair something. Oh, you're the... Okay. You're one of the IT people. That's fair enough. I was worried that we had, like, someone from the game dev team in and doing stuff, which we obviously don't want them doing, so... Good thing that's not the case. Anyway, let's see here. This thing is currently great. We haven't overdeveloped... Oh, we have overdeveloped it. Whatever. Develop. It's going to be great. NS Vision 3D, what does it recommend? It recommends 11 code units. We should be able to do that fairly quickly. Absolutely should be able to do that fairly quickly. So that really, that's something I think we can comfortably say we're going to finish. Now, interestingly, NS Vision has stopped selling. So I think it's sold as many copies as it's going to sell. So that puts us in a spot where our marketing team is doing nothing. So, I mean, it looks like Vision 3D is going to be done in no time at all. So I don't think we have much to worry about. Let's see if we can get an outsourced review real quick. What do you guys think of it? Not bad. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. You want a raise? Sure. We'll give you a raise. Have you expanded your team yet? I'm not entirely sure if you have, but it does look like the support team's a little bigger. What's up with you guys? You like a team member? Your productivity is not great. Temperature in that room is actually kind of cold. Are all of the rooms kind of cold? No, this one's kind of... You know what? Do we need radiators? We have central heating, but I would assume central heating probably does actually require radiators. So that might be something worth looking into, at least. We'll throw some radiators into all of these rooms and see if they, by chance, heat them up a little bit. So, can we reset the grid here so it actually works with me? There we go. So, the support team, I mean, the meeting room probably needs a bit of heat as well. And then obviously the support team is likely wanting to be warm too. What is this? Temperature will vary a lot. I do have these. I'm just curious as to why they are apparently not enough. I guess the building is kind of large, so maybe that does it. Maybe the larger size of the building is the reason it's not very warm. We'll put that there. We'll put that there. And does that warm you guys up a little bit? It does. 21 degrees Celsius is the temperature they're looking at there. So they are all a little bit more comfortable, which is great news. That's absolutely what we want. Absolutely what we want. Employees can't keep up with support. I mean, they'll get there eventually. Now, let's see. This thing is approaching its recommended code. So maybe we want to go ahead and get another outsourced review and see what they think. So it's still a 2.9 out of 10. That's interesting. What about an internal review from the core team and the support team? Just to see what the general thoughts on it happen to be internally. Because I'm definitely curious. As for these teams, I don't think any... Who are you? Oh, you're Game Dev 1. And are you Game Dev 2? Yes, we have the leaders back. Fantastic. Well, let's look at this. Overall score in... Well, that could be better. Let's go ahead and get you guys to start hiring. And also, we have some research coming in. So, audio compression has unlocked. Let's start researching that with all of our teams. Because we do want to get that and we do want to patent it. So that's a thing we'll absolutely do. But for the time being, let's go to Game Dev 1. You are going to have HR enabled or not? Have I not assigned you to be the team leader? No. Okay. So you're going to be team leader. And then we'll go to HR. We'll say it's enabled. And you're going to handle all that stuff. And then we want 6 programmers, 6 designers, and 5 artists? No, 3 artists. No marketing, age as low as possible. Go for medium, education level as high as possible. A cooldown of 6 months. And we'll say at any one time, 6 can be getting educated. So we'll do that for HR and Game Dev 1. Then Game Dev 2. Going to be exactly the same setup. So let's just make sure we duplicate the HR stuff in Game Dev 2. So those are enabled as low as possible in the age, medium salary with high education, 6 month cooldown, 6 people getting educated, and for as long as possible. Then for programmers, we're going to say we want 6, 6, and 3. And that should do the job. That should bring those 2 teams up to 16 people, sorry. So they'll work across their two rooms each. And they'll also be working on the research as they come in here. So they're all going to start working on research, which is good. I do think having them work on the research stuff is a good use of resources, because obviously the research can go towards making us money as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to promote NS Vision 3D into beta. We're going to start marketing it. The release date is going to be February of '89, which is fine by me. And then the marketing is going to have all this stuff, and the core team's going to, of course, be the ones doing it. And then also a press build and also some hype. So there we go. They can market that stuff and hype it and do everything they need to do. Currently has 17 followers. What did the press build look like? The target demographic doesn't really know who NERDROSOFT is. We haven't really heard about NS Vision 3D. It looks amazing, and it has all the new features. It'll release in February of 1989. Now here's my question. What's coming out before then? There's a 3D editor coming out this June. They beat me to it. But as far as 1992, good lord. As far as 1989 goes, it looks like we're relatively clear. The only person putting out a 3D editor is RenderStop 3. Or sorry, Theta LLC putting out RenderStop 3. Now here's my question. Theta there were 35... Yeah, there were 35 million. How much would you want? What is it? It's RenderStop 3 or something like that? Where is it? RenderStop 3. Where are the RenderStop 2? How much for the IP? Yeah, I'll buy the IP. There we go. So RenderStop 3 isn't coming out anymore. That's how we do. That is how we do. RenderStop 3 not coming out. You are not making it. Unless that wasn't related, which it might not have been. No, there is no 3D editor on the listing anymore. They have cancelled their 3D editor, which is perfect. That is exactly what we want. Let's go ahead and release the press release. Let's knock the followers up to 28. I mean, it's cutting edge. There's a video. Sounds great. Plan to release it. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Am I a terrible person for like buying out their product when I see that they're like planning to release competition? Because to me, I feel like that's a clever thing to do, right? Like, oh, they're releasing something that could be that is like competition to something I'm releasing a little bit later down the line. We probably don't want to let them do that, so you know. Anyway, let's push the priority up a little bit on NSOS. Not that it makes a difference, because obviously the developers aren't, the designers aren't actually working on NS Vision 3D. But we'll just push the priority up a little bit anyway. And I'll tell you what we could do. We could put some of the game devs on NSOS as well. That could be something worth doing. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we want to keep them working on research for the time being. I think that right there is going to be what we need. So maybe... Wait, can we patent it? Apparently not. I think, yeah, it does need to be done, doesn't it? Also looks like a lot of our designers might have been sent off on a bit of education, but we are about to be done with the design work on NSOS, which is huge news. So develop that. It has the potential to be outstanding. It needs a lot of code and a lot of art. Or sorry, not a lot of art, but that's fine. NSOS has reached alpha but doesn't have any followers. We're just gonna keep it through alpha for a while. We're not too worried about that. We're not too worried at all. Let's just double check though. I want to make sure. Oh, 3D editor, November 88. Really? GFX Point Premium. I doubt it's gonna be premium, but Giant Style Industries, I cannot let you do that. Where Giant Style Industries, I could buy you out. I could buy you out, and you know what? I might. It is their first release. It's sorry, their second release. So you know what? We're gonna buy out the company to stop them from releasing. I cannot buy a company within its first year of existence. Really? I really can't do that, can I? Okay. Well. At least if they make money, their value will go up and I can sell my stocks for a profit. Of course, it would be a newcomer to the market that I'm dealing with as my competition. I don't know how to feel about that. I really don't know how to feel about that. I'm not very happy, is what I will say. Because I like to be a bit of a dirty businessman, you know? That's kind of what I'm doing. We buy out competition. We say, hey, you're not releasing that. I'll buy that from you. Another company got audio compression before me. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to assign the game dev teams to this computer operating system. Just to see if we can, move the code along a little bit. Because we really might as well. And I guess we should look at all software and see how things are going. So, GFX Point Premium is good. That's worrying. Can we buy the IP? We can. We can buy the IP. I don't know if I want to. I kind of want to keep my eye on GFX Point Premium and see what it does. Because if it ends up selling more than if it makes a profit, I mean, I can make a profit on the stocks from the company at least. I don't want that to be the case, but that might have to be what we do here. Let's see, GFX Point Premium. It made a small profit. So I guess we'll see what happens. As for NS Vision 3D, it releases in a couple of months, so let's go ahead and put out another press release. And let's also put out another press build. And we'll see what happens there, maybe we'll generate a little bit more hype with it. I don't know. It's possible. We'll put that out anyway. We're not losing followers at least. Cutting edge. Sounds great. Okay, so people still like the way it looks. We got that going for us. Let's see what the press build thing, the release. Need to try harder, but it has all the new features. It'll be out any month. Yeah, it will. It'll be out next month. I really hope it sells. I really hope it sells. The good news is, like I said, we can start making our game engine as soon as it goes out. We have that going for us. We can put all these features in, 3D assets, HD audio, and then, of course, when it releases, NS Vision 3D goes in there. So we can do that, and that's what we want to do. We want to make our own game engine. It would be nice to make the game engine for NSOS, but until we get the operating system, we can't really do proprietary stuff. The supported operating systems for NERDROSOFT Wave Studio no longer have any users to sell. Consider porting it to other systems. So NS Wave Studio and NS Vision no longer have active users. Interesting. NS Wave Studio, can we port it to anything? This, I guess just all of them at this point. Why not? We can port it to NSOS. Oh! Oh, absolutely do that. So Wave Studio and NS Vision can both be ported to our own operating software. That's kind of neat, actually. That is kind of neat. Let's also port Wave, I guess, to everything. And, that'll go by in no time at all. Obviously, the port to, NSOS is going to take a little while, but that's fine. That's totally fine. It's February. I've just noticed it's February and we almost didn't release Vision 3D. So Feb 89. Let's release Vision 3D. We are going to start marketing. The budget's going to be $25,000. And we'll print We don't have that much of a consumer reach, but we'll print 250,000 copies. And let's see if we can immediately port Vision 3D to anything else. Yeah, we can. Okay. So we'll do that, and let's make that the priority. There we go. So let's see. Is Vision 3D actually going to make any money? It might not. It made £94,000. That's actually not terrible. Vision 3D is mediocre. We have not made anything good yet. Actually, no, to be fair, Wave was outstanding. It did not make money, though.